So I've been in the info coaching space for about 3 years now, and over those 3 years, I've studied hundreds of offers. Okay, every single one of the big offers that you're seeing, making $1 million a month, $2 million a month, even more than that. Okay, I've studied them all, and I came to the realization that every single one of the offers that I just mentioned, they're all running the same exact funnel. Okay, the same exact funnel. It's like four main funnels that these offers are using to scale to millions of dollars per month. And today I'm going to break down the 2 main funnels that are being used right now by the biggest offers. Every single one of the offers that I came across, they are all using one of these 2 funnels, or even both of these funnels. I've used them myself to make well over 7 figures in high ticket coaching and info sales, as you can see right here at my agency, Soul20 Consulting. And this is like the exact playbook that every single one of these offers is running. Okay, so I'm going to break down the exact traffic sources. Okay, I'm going to break down the exact funnels, and like I'm actually going to break down every single step of the funnel so you can use it for yourself, and you can scale your own offer to $250,000, $300,000 per month. Okay, so let's start with the traffic sources. What you're going to see is that every single one of these offers is mainly, like big offers especially, is mainly running paid ads. Okay, and they're all using organic. Like they're still putting some focus on organic, but most of these brands are all using organic as a nurturing channel rather than like an acquisition channel as a main source of traffic, right? Their main source of traffic is always going to be paid ads, and then they're going to use organic content to like help their paid ads process, right? It's like a flywheel. The paid ads are going to make your organic perform better. The organic is going to make your paid ads perform better because it builds trust, obviously, right? And that's what most of these people do, as you can see right here. I have some examples. Daniel Fazio, over 100 ads. Shelby Sepp, over 300 ads. Brooke Hitting, over 700 ads. Jordan Lee, 300. Will Rivera, over 100 ads. Charlie Morgan, just 50 ads, but yeah, it's all the same. Okay, they're all using the same exact traffic sources. I'm going to break down exactly how they do it and how you should do it too, because you should not copy them. If you want to get to like $250,000, $300,000 per month, you should not copy their ad strategy. All right, I'm going to show you exactly what you should do instead at this, like at the stage that you're at right now. All right, and as I said, the 2 main funnels that they're using are 1, webinar funnels, absolutely crushing right now. We're making hundreds of thousands of dollars with these webinar funnels right here, and VSL call funnels as well. We've also used them, but right now we're mainly using webinar funnels, but still both are being used. More and more people are switching from VSLs to webinars. It's like it's the same thing that happened a couple of years ago, right? A couple of years ago, nobody was running webinars, and then like 2018, 2019, everybody at some point was running webinars, and that was the reason why webinars stopped performing that well. Okay, and it shifted more into VSL funnels and like more direct response, right? And now that's shifting back to the webinar funnels, simply because nobody was using webinars anymore. Now it's being like more and more popular again. It's converting cold traffic like crazy right now. Okay, you have a couple of months, maybe a year or 2, where you can absolutely milk webinar funnels. Okay, but yeah, it's absolutely working right now. And by the way, if you want us to build, launch, and scale your entire webinar funnel completely done for you within the next 2 weeks, okay, all you have to do is just record the ads and hop on the webinar for once a month. There's going to be a link in the description. You can just check it out. But yeah, let's continue with the video. So these are the 2 main funnels, and some like 2 honorable mentions that we're also running up right now is, first of all, the challenge funnel. Okay, it's like a webinar funnel, just like it requires much more effort, right? You can run a challenge funnel maybe like once a quarter max, right? It's basically 3 full days of webinars, and then you have to put up a lot of money to actually run it. It's good, it's performing extremely well, but again, a lot of operational costs right here. And then low ticket ascension, I'm getting into this right now. Okay, I feel like this is going to be the next big thing, low ticket ascension, and I'm going to make videos later on. Okay, but yeah, everything that can help you build trust with your audience as fast as possible, as effective as possible on your end, also like operational costs and everything like that, that's going to crush it in the next coming months, which is webinar funnels and low ticket ascension as well. But yeah, today I'm going to break down the 2 main funnels, which is webinar funnels and VSL funnels. So let's start with the webinar. Okay, what are these guys doing? All right, so again, I have right here in red so that you actually see it. Do not copy this ad strategy. Okay, I have like the big offers right here. They are not playing the same game as you, right? They're not trying to get to $200,000 per month, $300,000 per month. They're trying to get to $5 million, $10 million a month. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So let's check out Brooke Hitting's ad right here. It's like super top of funnel. Like, by the way, if you want to have this whole Miro board, just find me on IG. It's at HikeStepo. I have it in my YouTube description as well. Just find it and DM me study. Okay, DM me study on Instagram. I'm gonna send it over, but you have to follow me, otherwise I'm not gonna send it. But yeah, so what are these guys doing? Okay, so what they're doing is, I have it right here, the market awareness levels. They're trying to hit millions and millions of dollars per month. Okay, they're playing a different game. If you follow what they're doing, you're just gonna attract broke people and shit leads for no reason. Okay, and you're gonna try to attract colder audiences. Let me explain. So they are basically targeting problem-aware people, okay? So in that case, they're selling BizUp, right? They're targeting people who are aware of their problem, which is I need to make more money, and that's pretty much it. They have to sell them on their solution, which is in Shelby's case, for example, high-ticket sales. In Brooke Hitting's case, it's high-ticket e-com, right? They have to sell them on their business model first, and then they have to sell them on themselves, okay, as the right mentor to actually go ahead and learn from, right? They're playing a different game. It's much more easy for you if you're trying to get to a couple $100,000 per month. It's much more easy to just target solution-aware people, right? People that already are in your field of business that you're trying to teach or whatever it is that you're doing, right? Let's say you're selling, I don't know, Amazon consulting. Pretty simple example, right? Let's say you're trying to sell an Amazon info offer. For you, it's going to be your best bet to just go after people who are already trying to make money with Amazon, but they're failing. They're actively in the market searching for solutions, and they already know what it's worth to actually solve that solution. That's why it's much more easy for you to actually go ahead and convert them, right? It's so much simpler than try to attract somebody who is only problem aware. They have no idea what type of business model to go for or whatever. Okay, it's just much easier for you to just go after solution aware people, right? Again, they're playing a different game. They have to go more broad because they already went through their TAM, right? They already made their couple $100,000 per month. Now, if they want to make more, they have to branch out to colder, more unaware audiences in order to hit those numbers, and that's why they're playing a different game. Do not copy these people, right? I don't know, like I've seen so many people in the info space talk about that, like people that don't understand what they're saying essentially. Yo, this is how Iman Ghazi made $5 million, $50 million. I don't know, like it doesn't work for you. It's not going to work for you, right? It makes no sense to copy these big dogs, right? Actual ad strategy that you should follow is this right here. Okay, again, if you want to have this Miro board, just message me on IG, message me study, okay, and I'm going to send it over. But the ad strategy that you want to do at your stage, if you want to get to $250,000 per month, okay, or $300,000, $500,000 max, right, is just simply targeting solution-aware people with 25 to 30 ads initially, right? This is the whole structure. I just made a video about this. You can check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. It's this video right here, the $250,000 per month meta ads blueprint, right? But you can also just get the Miro. So basically what you want to do is you want to find out what your best performing target avatars are, okay? So you want to find out who you want to target, what persona you want to target, right? And then you're going to write 25 to 30 unique ads targeting that persona, or these, like let's say you have 3 personas, right? You create 10 angles per persona. You're going to end up with 25 to 30 ads, right? Unique ads, top to bottom, unique. All right, I have I'm explaining right here why you have to do that. It's like Meta wants you to do. Right, so you're going to be left with 25 to 30 unique ads targeting your perfect avatar, like the persona that is most likely to convert to your offer, right? And then you're going to attract them. It's going to you're going to have a higher cost per lead, maybe not. Okay, it's not necessary, but even if you have a higher cost per lead, you're going to have much more higher quality leads, which is going to make it easier for you later on to convert them, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what you have to do. You have to find out what your personas are that you want to target. Then you want to find out what the angles are that you want to use to target them, and then you're basically going to find out what type of format you want to use to create the ads. Maybe it's a selfie style video, maybe it's a podcast style video, maybe it's a highly edited talking head video, whatever it might be. That's going to be your first campaign, 25 to 30 ads. Meta's going to decide which of those 30 ads is going to get the most spend because it gets you the lowest cost per result, and it's going to spend like 90% of your ad budget on 1 or 2 creatives, okay? And from there, the way you're going to scale is you're going to, first of all, you have to identify if those creators are getting you good leads. If so, cool, you just scale it. At some point, it's going to fatigue, and what you do from there is simply making new creatives, okay? Iterating on those creatives. The way you do that is like this right here. You have one ABO campaign, you have multiple ad sets, and per ad set you're going to change one variable, right? For example, let's say it was one persona and one angle that crushed it for you. You just filmed that, the selfie video. Now you just want to change one variable, which is the selfie style video, for example, and you're going to put in like 10 new ads in that one ad set to test the variable, which is the format. So you're going to change it to podcast style. You're going to have a physical whiteboard in the background. You're going to test out like highly edited talking head, green screen videos, Reddit video, whatever it might be. You're just changing one variable at a time in new ad sets, right? ABO, so you can control the spend, and that's how you scale. Again, I have a whole video on this. You can check it out. But yeah, basically that's what you want to do. You want to target more aware people, right? More aware people, not beginners, and you're going to use this strategy to get your ads rolling initially, right? Okay. The next thing that they all do is for the webinar funnel, obviously you're sending traffic to an opt-in page. Okay. So what does the opt-in page look like? It's always the same, right? It's always going to be a main headline, subheader, the timer, date date and time, the form, a meet your host section, what you're going to learn section, and then testimonials. Okay, let me show you some examples. This is, for example, Brooke Hitting's opt-in page, right? As you can see right here, this is even simpler, right? He only has a headline and then a form. You can split test this as well. And I have this form right here. I actually have it on the Miro board as well because it's very interesting. That's what we're using as well. They don't ask for your phone number straight away, right? They just ask for your first name and the email, right, to keep the opt-in rates higher. And then only if you click this, then you have to put in your phone number, right? Pretty simple trick that is actually going to increase your opt-in rates like crazy. But yeah, that's one example. Another one is, let's check out Will Rivera's one, right? Headline, form, sales letter, or what you're going to learn. Okay, meet your host. It's always the same. Testimonials, it's always the same. Okay, you can interchange these right here. Okay, obviously you can first maybe like show your testimonials first, then maybe try showing the host first. Okay, obviously pro tip, this helped us increase our opt-in rates by a lot. In your meet your host section, instead of just having an image and then like text describing who you are, have a podcast there or an interview, right? If you have an interview and you put it there, and if you run ads to cold traffic and they see that interview, it's going to add so much social proof, it's going to make it much more likely that they actually show up. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Above the fold is going to be all of this right here, okay, and then these are going to be your next sections. That's for the opt-in page. Okay, pretty simple. From the opt-in page, the second they opt in, you also want to have a VIP OTO offer. Okay, one-time offer. You want to liquidate some ad spend, ideally 15 to 30% on the front end. These are all going to be offers like between $17. I've seen offers doing $7. Okay, I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, $17 to $97. Again, I've also seen offers doing $147. It can go higher, but this is like the typical range. And that OTO, it has to be tied to the webinar, right? For example, if you're selling an e-com offer, you can, like, as an OTO, you could say, yo, get an AI product sourcer, no, or like an AI store builder, so you can use everything we're going to teach you on the webinar or on the free training, so you can use it straight away, basically get results fast. Or for example, for a high ticket sales offer, you'll get your pre-built sales script right here so you can get going. It has to be tied to the outcome of your webinar, right? And it has to be easily consumable and get people fast results, all right? It can't be something that they have to consume for like, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and then again, like for a couple of weeks implemented, it's not going to work. Okay, you have to have fast results right here. And always include a one-on-one implementation call with your setters. Okay, you frame it as an implementation call, consulting call, but it's basically just like low ticket essential, right? You're getting them on a call with your sales team, and then you're going to try and upsell them if they're qualified, right? So that's how low ticket offers work on the front end, like VIP offers. I can show you some examples. So this is an OTO. Okay, again, the way they structure these pages, by the way, is this. So most of these offers have a sales main headline, again, subheader, a VSL, right? Very important. I don't know why they don't have it, but maybe it's performing better, right? They have a written VSL, basically. They just have a sales letter here. But yeah, you can have a VSL, 2 buttons, okay, yes or no. If they want to say yeah, like if they want to get the offer, they obviously click yes and then get to the next page. If they click no, they get to an unqualified thank you page, so that we don't optimize for them, right? And then you can also have a sales letter plus a CTA, offer sec, and then testimonials, right? This is like what most offers look like. Again, I just showed you this right here. They don't have a VSL, but they have a written sales letter. As you can see right here, you can have both. You can have one just split tested. Okay, they have a an offer sec right here. Yeah, and as you can see, this is a high ticket sales offer, and what they're offering here is like the webinar is about high ticket sales, and they're giving them a pre-built sales script, right? Pretty simple. Another one is, for example, this right here. Okay, e-com offer, Brooke Hitting. They're giving people, like, as you can see, two buttons, right? One gets them to the sales page. The other one gets them to an unqualified thank you page, right? That's what they do. And then an offer sec, and that's pretty much it, right? Pretty simple. It's always going to be the same. That's your OTO. Now they've signed up for the webinar, right? This is also the flow, right? Now they've signed up for the webinar. They got their OTO. Now we have to get them to actually show up to the webinar, right? And there are multiple things that we do to actually get them to show up, which is one, first of all, the thank you page. And then we have a whole back-end education system, right? I have it here as well. We have a whole back-end education system to actually get them to show up with a lot of things, okay? This is what gets us show up rates of like 37%, 38%. We've seen cold traffic webinars with show rates of 40+%, 42%, right? So this is the exact stuff that we do to get high show rates on cold traffic webinars. But the first step is going to be your post-webinar registration page, okay? So the second they sign up for the webinar, you want to get them to like consume content straight away. So you're going to be structuring the page like this. You're going to reassure what they just did, okay? And the headline. And then you're going to have a pre-webinar VSL. It's not really a VSL, it's just the next steps video, right? And you're not just going to give them, like, you're not just going to say, yo, check out the emails, check out the Telegram, check out this, check out that. No, you actually have to sell them on the opportunity. You have to sell them on the the idea to actually show up. You have to give them a reason why they should show up, right? Maybe at this point they haven't even seen your face besides the maybe if you're running static ads, maybe they actually haven't seen your face, right? This is maybe the first time they actually see you, so you actually have to sell them on you as well, show them some proof, testimonials, sell them on the idea why they should join the webinar, why it's so important right now. Okay, there are multiple ways you can structure this. You can have an urgency-based next steps video where you're actually selling them on the opportunity straight and say, yo, this you have to join today because like next month the opportunity is not going to be available anymore, whatever it might be, right? Do you understand the point? You can also just have a proof-based video right here where you just load up the video with as much of proof as you can, right? And that way you get them to show up and sell them on the idea of showing up to the webinar. And then below that we have a button that adds the event to a Google Calendar, right? Very important. If they have like the event on their Google Calendar, if they actually sign up, they're going to see that all the time when they open their phone, because most people have the calendar widget on their phone, right? So they're going to see it all the time. They're even going to get a notification from Google, it's like themselves, okay? And there's also going to be the webinar join link right there in that event. Very, very important. We're actually setting this up with Claude, okay? If you want to see how we do it, you can also just message me on Instagram. I'm going to show you how you can do that. All right, we have an add to Google Calendar button. We also have the Telegram join button there as well. We have pre-webinar FAQ videos handling mechanism-based objections. Okay, so we are not there is a difference between pre-call and pre-webinar FAQ videos, because pre-call, you're trying to handle product-related objections, right? You're trying to handle what you're getting on the sales calls, right? Here, you really want to handle the mechanism-related objections. Maybe you're, I don't know, selling a specific high-ticket e-com, right? Let's say you're selling a high-ticket e-com offer. You're targeting people that are already in e-com, right? And they're already searching for solutions, and maybe you're presenting them with a new opportunity, which is high-ticket e-com instead of selling low-ticket, I don't know, bullshit China products, right? They're going to have objections, right, about high ticket. So what you're going to do is you're going to handle those objections in those videos, for example. Pretty simple to understand, right? In comparison to that, on your pre-call thank you page, you might get sales objections, and that's what you want to handle there. Okay, big difference. Okay, so you're going to do that. You're on those videos. You can also share what you're going to show on the webinar. You can also have a pre-webinar FAQ as a text format, right? With the drop-down things, you just click on it, and then there's the same thing, just as text for people who don't want to consume videos, right? And then you're also going to have testimonials. You can structure this as how you want. You can even have an extra long-form video here, right? That breaks down your business model, whatever it is, or your strategy, your mechanism, right? To get them to show up as well. Again, you can play around with this, split test it, but yeah, that's what most people do. And that's what we do. Again, we're getting very, very high show rates on webinars. So this stuff works, okay? So that's not the only thing we do. That's just the first thing that they see straight away. What we do as well, we have a whole pre-webinar nurture system, as I just showed you, right? We are using pre-webinar emails. We're using retargeting ads. We're using YouTube as much as possible. We're using SMS blasts, Telegram. Our SDRs are reaching out, right? So here's everything we do, okay, to get them to show up to the webinar so you can use it too. So the pre-webinar email sequence, I'm not going to show, out of respect to those, to the guys that I just showed you, I'm not going to show their backend. I want to keep it private. If you want to check it out, just sign up yourself. I'm not going to show it, okay? But this is the logic behind everything, okay? First of all, for the emails, you're going to run 15 to 20 emails within the 3 days that you're going to run the webinar promo, right? I recommend running a webinar promo, starting the ads 3 days out of the webinar. You can try 4, you can try 5. If you started too far out, you're going to have lower show rates. That's just the thing, right? If you start 3 days out, you're going to have high show rates. Okay, that's what we do. And over those 3 days, you're going to send one email. You're going to have 15 to 20 emails, and every one of those emails is going to have one main idea, okay? So each email is going to be unique top to bottom. So the first one is always going to be a confirmation email. Again, you're not just sending them, yo, this is the webinar, here is a link, join us in 3 days. You're not doing that. This first email has the same logic as the pre-webinar next steps video right here. Okay, you're selling them on the idea of showing up. You're explaining why they just what they just did was great, signing up for the webinar, and now you have to reassure them and show them why they should care to actually show up, right? They have a lot of things to do. They don't have to join your webinar, right? And also most of these webinars are super fucking boring. So they are not going to show up if you don't do anything to get them to show up. So the first email has to sell them on the opportunity, on the idea to show up immediately, okay? And then every single one of those other emails is going to have objection handling aspects, YouTube videos, case studies, stories. So you can have a whole email handling a specific objection. You can have a whole email just for the purpose of sending them to a YouTube video, right? You can show case studies in one email. One email could be about one case study. You can also show a story that is related to your mechanism or whatever you're doing, right? You can all of this right here. You can do all of this with the emails. And again, we're getting having email open rates of 50 to 60% plus on cold traffic. People are reading these, right? Where like most of these emails are, I would say, between 250 and 400 words, okay? So they're long form emails, okay? It's not just like reminders or whatever. Don't do that with emails. You can do that with SMS, but don't do that with emails. So the next thing is the Telegram group. Again, same exact logic, okay? You want to have 4 to 8 text messages in that Telegram group. Same exact logic. You want to get them to show up. You want to sell them to show, like all of these like channels right here. This is just like the same thing done over and over again, just using a different channel. We're using the pre-webinar emails. We're using the thank you page. We're using the Telegram, the SMS, the retargeting as SDRs, everything. The whole logic stays the same between each and every one of those channels, right? Again, we're trying with Telegram as well. We're trying to get them to show up. So what do? We're sending them, like we're handling objections. We're showing YouTube videos, sending them to YouTube videos to get them to consume more content before the webinar even happens, right? So that they actually show up. We're showing case studies, stories, okay? But the thing with Telegram is you can use videos and voice memos that you can't use with emails, right? You can't do that with emails, but you can do it with Telegram, right? So do it, right? Use videos as much as possible. Build a personal relation, like connection with the people that are actually joining you, right? Don't just like overlook this stuff. This is super important if you actually want to make a webinar funnel work on cold traffic and run it profitably, right? Again, we've done hundreds of thousands of dollars with this exact strategy. This works, all right? So the next thing, SMS, again, you want to send, like the first, actually pretty interesting when it comes to SMS. The first SMS that we send sends them to a podcast that we have. Like most people have a podcast. You probably also have a podcast, an interview, something, right? Something that adds social proof, external social proof, because let's say they see you like on a podcast. If they trust the podcaster, they're going to trust you as well, all right? They're going to have like initial trust in you. So the first thing that we do with the SMS is just like as soon as they sign up, we send them to that podcast, okay? We send them to that interview in order to get them to consume that content and make it more likely that they actually show up. Because if you just send them the join link like immediately, sure, it's going to be better than nothing, right? But this is going to make it much more likely that they actually show up. The join link is not going to do anything for you, right? And then with the SMS as well, 1 day out, we send out a reminder, 5 hours out, we send out a reminder, 30 minutes out, 5 minutes out, live now. Pretty simple process right here. Make all of these personal, right? Don't just like be like a robot, just like add some personality to it. Add 1 or 2 words that make it more cool, more funny, right? And then 15-minute post webinar, next post start of the webinar, we sent them another SMS where we're like, yo, we're now getting into the actual value of the webinar. Join us, okay? Super funny, like 15 minutes into the webinar, we always see a super like big spike of people joining it, right? We do that, by the way, with the emails as well, okay? So that's SMS. Retargeting ads, quite literally same exact concept as emails. 1 idea per ad, objection handling, YouTube videos, case studies, stories, okay? You can send them to YouTube videos from the ads directly to get them to consume it. You can run these on low spend. I would say have at least like 25 to 30 ads in that ad set. You're gonna run them in a sequence. Okay, I'm not going to show you exactly how it's like set up right now because it would make this video too long, but you basically set it up in a way that every single person sees 1 video at a time, and if they've seen that 1 ad or that 1 retargeting ad, they're not going to see it again. So you exclude them from that ad as soon as they watch it, right? And then you're going to send them to the next video that you have in that ad set. All right, does that make sense? You're only going to see each video once, all right? And then again, each video is going to have 1 idea. 1 video could handle a specific objection. Another one could send them to a YouTube video to get them to consume more content. Another one could be about a case study. Another one could be about a story. So be creative. Next up, SDRs, okay? Your setters, super important, okay? As soon as somebody signs up, your setters should dial them immediately, okay? They should dial them immediately and even like just ask them about their situation, okay? Where they're at right now in their journey, and then try to sell them the OTO. Just on the phone, right? You can do that. And then if they don't want to take the OTO, still sell them on showing up. And also you can plant a seed and open a loop, right? Cool if I call you after the free training to see how it went, and then they're going to say yes, and then you have an easy entry later on, so you can go ahead and get them on a sales call, right? Pretty cool stuff. And then post webinar, obviously you're going to call them and they're going to sell the high ticket, right? This is what we do and also what all these other guys are doing to get them to show up to their webinars, okay? So that's pretty much it. And then from there, you're gonna have your webinar presentation. Again, I have videos about that. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing because it would make this video 2 hours long. But the way you're gonna structure your webinar script is gonna be this, right? You're always gonna have 5 sections. There's 5 sections, which is one gonna be your intro, your content section, the transition between content and the pitch, which is section 4, and then the Q&A. Right? Every single time, it's always the same. The intro is it's not just your hook, right? So, okay, the webinar is gonna be like a 90-minute presentation, okay? you don't want to just like sell them, like it has to, like you have to show them something in order to get them to actually buy your offer at the end or go ahead and book a call, right? I've seen people that are saying like, yo, you should sell them on the what and not the how, which is true, and I preach that as well, because you don't want to show, like as you can see right here, I have it right here, but if you don't teach enough, okay, and don't show enough of your expertise, people won't buy. I've seen webinars, okay? I've seen webinars that are just like going ahead and like showing people something they could have found out with like one prompt in ChatGPT. That's stupid. Don't do it. Don't be like that. You're gonna waste people's time. They're not only not gonna go ahead and book a call, they're gonna hate you because you wasted their time, okay? Show them valuable stuff. Also, if you show them valuable stuff, they're gonna love you. Like within like a couple of, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes into the webinars, what we're seeing is that people are already asking for consulting, right? They're already asking for our help because they're seeing that we know our shit, okay? You have to show them enough, okay, so that they actually trust you. You don't want to show them every single detail because that's going to confuse people, and if people are confused, they're not going to buy, right? But you have to show them enough, okay? So that's like the sweet spot that you have to find. So realistically, the intro is going to be about 15 minutes. The content section is going to have like 3 parts to it, and each of those 3 parts is also going to take about 10 to 15 minutes. So we're now at about an hour into the webinar, and then your pitch is going to be like 30 minutes plus, okay? The pitch is going to be the longest section, but again, you want to structure it properly, so let me show you how you can do that. In the intro, the first thing is going to be your hook, right? So you're going to hook them. One hook that I like to do is just like show them live proof of whatever it is that you're selling. If you're selling a SaaS consulting offer, go ahead, pull up your Stripe and show them what you've done. Like that's the best hook that you can do, pretty much. I don't even want to touch on other things. If you're legit, if you know your stuff, you're gonna be able to show them live proof. So go ahead and do it. Okay, people are gonna trust you immediately. They're gonna be like, oh shit, okay, I have to listen to this dude, right? So, and then next up, you have to position yourself as the authority. In the intro section, show them as much proof as possible. Your own proof, student proof, all of that external proof. You can show them interviews that you've done. Okay, that's kind of stuff. Next up, you want to sell them on the idea of your unique mechanism, the stuff that you're gonna be teaching in the content section. So before you get into the content section, you want to sell them on the idea of why it works. So you're going to do that. Then you're going to create commitments. You're going to open loops. Okay, you're going to say something like, on this webinar, you're going to learn X, Y, and Z. So you're going to have 5 bullets, 5 open loops to actually get them to commit to stay throughout the whole thing. Next up, that's what you have to do in the intro. Next up, content section. Again, I just explained why you have to show enough, but not too much. You're going to break up your content section into 3 to 5 points. I would say 3, ideally. Okay, each of those 3 points, it should make sense. I'm not going to go into this because every single webinar is going to be different, right? Whatever you're teaching, you have to like, you should already know how you can structure your business model and like the way you can teach it, right, into 3 points. So you're going to do that. And each of the points is going to start with context. So you're going to explain why that specific point or step of the process is super important. You're also going to handle objections while you're teaching, right? You're going to use testimonials throughout the content section as well to show them that what you're sharing works. Okay. You're going to get them to micro commit throughout the whole thing. Just say, does that make sense? Type a yes in the chat. And you're also going to have transitions between the steps as if they already did it. Okay. Now that you've done X, we have to go ahead and do Y, which is step 2. That's what you have to do in the content section. Next up, transition. How you go from the transition into pitch, so without sounding weird, it's pretty simple. You just use the crossroads close. So first what you're going to do is you're going to do a recap of what they've learned. After that, you're going to ask them 3 to 5 questions they can answer yes to, which is knowing what you know now. Do you feel like you can do X, Y, and Z the way you're supposed to do? And then they're going to say yes, and you have 5 of these. This was just an example, a stupid example, but yeah, you know the point, you understand the point. And after that, you're going to have a crossroads close, which is you had 2 options. Option 1 was I let you figure this out alone. Option 2 was I could help you do X, Y, and Z. What makes more sense to you? 1 or 2, type it in the chat. And then they're all going to say yes, 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 and they're basically begging you to pitch them. That's how you get into the pitch without being weird, all right, and without sounding salesy. And then in the pitch, you're going to have a core offer and your bonuses. Your offer, I'm not going to go through every single step right here, but this is like how every single person pitches it, how we pitch it. You're going to have your core offer, which is going to be like right now you probably have an offer, okay, a consulting offer, coaching offer with some deliverables. Every single one of those deliverables that is pretty obvious, like an onboarding call, a course, a community, you put that into the core offer, okay? And you're going to go through this on the webinar in about 3 minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes max, right? It's going to be pretty simple, and this core offer is going to get them into a maybe state, okay? It's not going to get them to be ready to buy, but it's going to be like they're going to be okay, this makes sense, I don't know, right? And then from there, you're going to use your bonuses one after another to tilt that maybe into more of a yes, okay? So you're going to have like 5 bonuses plus at least Okay, and the way you understand which parts of your offer should go into the bonuses is a part that people don't expect. So, for example, if you give them a free software access, right, or you give them access to your development team if it's a SaaS product, if it's a SaaS consulting offer, your marketing team, if you have any other done-for-you elements, if it's an Amazon offer, if you give them access to your suppliers, if you connect them to your suppliers, if you have any done-for-you elements, just put them as bonuses, right? That's how you do that. All right, so you're going to have one bonus after another. Your second best bonus is going to come first, and your very last bonus is going to be your best bonus, because that's when you get into the pitch. That's when you get them to fill out the type form immediately, right? That's what you do. They're going to hear one bonus after another, and they're going to be like, maybe, okay, yes, that makes sense. Oh shit, yeah, oh hell yeah, okay, oh my god, I have to get in. That's the point that you want to try to get to with the bonuses. And then after that, your the last section is going to be your Q&A. Pretty simple. You just you don't just jump off the webinar after you gave them your offer. Okay, you want to stay there for a Q&A. We like to do 30 minutes of a Q&A, and most of your calls are going to come in your Q&A section, right? So you're going to have guided slides, 5 slides with your most frequently asked questions on the sales calls about the offer, and then you're going to have an open Q&A with micro pitches, right? So they're going to ask you questions, and then you're just going to answer them, show them your expertise, give them more value, and then direct them back to the type form or whatever you use to get them to book a call. So that's the process. That's how you get people to sign up, right? That's how you get people to show up to the webinar. That's how you structure the webinar. Now they are going ahead and booking calls. Now the last step is the pre-call strategy to actually get them to show up and close. Okay. So the whole point of this is, again, just because they booked a call, just like with the webinar, it's not guaranteed that they're going to show up. All right. Your main goal right here is to do everything you can to sell them on the idea of showing up to the call and also closing on the sales call, on the first call, right? They're only going to close if they're actually convicted, right? This is the money line right here. If they have so much intent that they're already convicted, there are no objections left unanswered, that's when they're going to close, okay? Your webinar is going to get them maybe into a stage where they have a strong intent, all right? They're almost ready to join, but they have a couple of more objections, questions that they need handled. That's why you have your closers, right? But yeah, basically your closer's job is to bridge that gap and get them to be convicted, but that's also your job before they even hop on the sales call, because again, you can do a lot of stuff right here to get them to show up and also close, right? We call this the education window, right? So the time between them booking the call and the call actually happening. You want to do everything you can to turn it into an actual closing call and not just an education call. So your job before the closing call is to increase their interest as much as possible, to get it as close as possible to them being convicted, right? So the good thing with webinars is they're already going to have super high intent, right? There's not much left you have to do, but with normal funnels, like a VSL funnel that I'm going to cover in a couple of seconds right here, they might only be curious about your opportunity by the time they book a call, right? There is no way they're going to show up and close with this interest level right here. So to increase it as much as possible, with a VSL funnel it's even more important, but you have to increase it as much as possible throughout your sales process, right? You do that with your webinar, you do that with your pre-webinar nurture, and you also do that with your pre-call process. So what do we do? Very similar to what we do for the pre-webinar process, right? We have, first of all, speed to lead SDR, super important. Your SDR should call them within a couple of minutes. Very important, okay? This is going to make your biggest difference. If you call your leads within 5 to 10 minutes of them booking a call, your show-up rates are going to be much higher, significantly higher, all right? And then next up, 15 to 20 long-form emails. Again, I'm not going to get into that. I already explained it before. SendBlue automations. So the second they go ahead and book a call, we send them to a thank you page that is again structured similar to this right here, right? And on that thank you page, the first thing that we do is we have a button, right? We have a button that gets them to send us a message, right? On iMessage actually. And then that gets them to join our SendBlue, and then our sales team is going to be able to respond to that and also call up the leads, right? Very, very strong. Yeah, I just shared a very solid golden nugget right here. But yeah, this is what we use. This increases our show rates by a lot, all right? And then, as I said, pre-call thank you page with all of the stuff that I already covered. SMS automations, SDR sending additional sales assets via SendBlue, right after they hopped on a call with them, or even if they didn't reach them via phone, they can still send them the sales assets to actually go ahead and get them to show up to the call. And then obviously YouTube channel, right? You can use your YouTube channel throughout the whole entire process with the emails, the SMS, with everything. You can send them to your YouTube videos as much as possible to get them to actually binge watch it before they join your sales call, right? That's how you do the webinar funnel. That's basically the entire webinar funnel. I have it here, right here. I have it right here again. First up is the meta ads, then you send them to your funnel pages to get them to sign up. The OTO, after they get the OTO or sign up to the webinar, you have your whole pre-webinar education system. They show up to the webinar, you have your webinar execution. From there, they book a call, they go through your pre-webinar backend education, pre-call backend education system to get them to show up to the sales call. Then they show up and close. If they don't show up, we have a follow-up system. Very simple process. Okay, it's not like simple, but now that you understand how to do it, you can easily pull it off, right? So next up is the VSL call funnel, which is the second type of funnel that most of these people are running. This is even more simple, right? That you can set this up pretty fast. It's going to be less effective, much less effective actually than a webinar funnel, because there is much less like nurturing and education happening before a sales call or before you pitch them, but it still works, right? There are a lot of offers that are going to $1 million per month with a VSL call funnel. Actually, most offers run a hybrid of a VSL and a webinar funnel because these work very well together. For example, everybody who doesn't convert through a VSL funnel, you can send them to the webinar. Everybody who doesn't convert from the webinar funnel through the webinar funnel, and they have already seen your offer, just send them to the VSL. They watch the VSL again, go ahead and book a call, right? These work hand in hand. Okay, traffic source, again, with the direct response ads for the VSL funnel, it's even more important that you actually go ahead and target solution aware people so that you can actually, like, this is the wrong picture, but yeah, so that you can actually convert them through a short video, right? If you go through to beginners and target beginners, it's going to be harder for you for no reason. Then you're going to make your life harder for no reason to convert them. Just go after solution aware people. I have some examples right here. For example, Charlie Morgan, he's targeting marketing agency owners with very specific pain points and specific solutions that they're searching for, that he's serving them with, right? Again, check out the whole thing. I have the, like, if you want to have the Miro board, just message me on Instagram, as I said, right? This is how you structure your ads, right? This is how you run your ads. From there, by the way, don't like follow like the stupid advice of like use this flywheel strategy. Like don't do that. If you want to get to a couple $100,000 per month, you don't have to do that. Just run direct response ads to your webinar, direct response ads to your VSLs. It's going to work much better for you. Okay, don't trust these people. Don't trust everybody. Like also don't trust me. You do your due diligence or whatever. But this is what works right now for most offers. Okay, I'm just saying what works. From there, they're going to go ahead and get to the go to the VSL page, and right now, people are actually running something very interesting, which is they're using a multi-VSL strategy, right? They don't have one VSL anymore. Okay, they have multiple VSLs. They have long-form VSLs like here, which is literally an hour-long training, but it's just a VSL, right? And then they get them to book a call. And then they also have they have multiple VSLs per, like every single offer has multiple VSLs right now, depending on like who you're trying to target. For example, if you're targeting 3 different like distinct personas through your ads that are all likely to convert to your offer, but they're not the same person. For example, if you have a SaaS consulting offer, you might get somebody who's only a software engineer. They know how to develop their softwares, but they have no idea how to sell it or even like build a business out of it. That's one persona. Another persona could be somebody who's already operating a SaaS business and they have specific problems within their SaaS business that they're not able to fix, and they're looking for a solution. They are both very likely to convert to your offer, right? But they're not the same person. So that means they're not going to respond to the same VSL, most likely. So they're going to have multiple VSLs for multiple people, multiple personas, and also multiple VSL strategies, right? Long form VSLs, shorter VSLs targeting a specific persona. That's what most people do right now. They're not relying on one VSL anymore. And then from there, they just have a type form on their landing page with a Calendly. If they're qualified, they go ahead and book a call. If they're unqualified, they're automatically going to be disqualified from type form, and they're not going to be able to book a call, so that you don't get shit quality leads and you only optimize for higher quality leads, right? Also your conversion event, the second they book a call, which means they're qualified and get to the sale, like thank you page, that's going to report back to the pixel. So you're going to set up a standard event, which is going to be schedule, right? Standard event schedule, right? And that's how you tell Facebook that you want more people like that just went ahead and booked a call and are also qualified. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much the strategy. From there, they go ahead and book a call and get to the same exact pre-call strategy that I just explained, but here it's just much more important. If you don't have speed to lead, if you don't have all of this set up, there is no way you're going to be able to convert people with a short VSL, for example, right? Unless they have like super high intent for whatever reason. But again, these are the 2 funnels that work right now. These are the funnels that are mainly being ran right now. Again, 2 honorable mentions, 2 challenge funnels, and also low ticket ascension models. They're both working as well, but these are the easiest funnels that you can set up from the get-go. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you, again, want us to build out and launch your entire webinar funnel within the next 2 weeks, where all you'd have to do is just record some ads and hop on a webinar for once a week, there is going to be a link in the video description that leads you to our VSL, whatever. I just break down the offer and the deliverables. I'm very upfront about that. And then, yeah, you can go ahead and book a call with me or not. Okay, if you don't want to do that, I still appreciate you watching the video, and I'm going to see you in the next one.